Welcome everyone. We are here live for Friday Night Talkdown. Glad you could tune in. This is Zach McGibby thanking you again for tuning in. For today, we've got a special guest, and our special guest today is Oliver Norgrove. So if you could introduce yourself, Oliver?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name's Ollie. I'm from London. I'm 18 years old and very happy to be here. Thank you for letting me on today.
Yeah, no problem. And is there anything you want to plug before we get started here?
Yeah, sure. You can go to WWE.com right now and subscribe to the WWE network. It's $9.99. I'm kidding. You can follow my Twitter if that's okay, at Oliver, Norgrove, and N as in John Cena. You can also like our Facebook page at Pro Wrestling Powerhouse. And that's all I really have to plug. So, yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, and I want to thank our sponsor, the WWE Network, which is $9.99 a month. Also,
is it $9.99 a month?
Yeah, it's really $9.99 a month. I can't believe it either. But anyway, let's get started here. The big news coming out from last night was Alberto Del Rio is officially released from the WWE. What are your thoughts on that?
I was surprised, but not surprised he was released. I was surprised that everybody else was surprised that he was released. And I've always been a fan of Del Rio's wrestling. Obviously, he was never the Rock for charisma, as we all know. But he let's be honest, he hadn't done anything meaningful in 2014. I don't think. I mean, how many times did he win this year? Maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So. To me, the release wasn't a surprise at all. I'm not necessarily happy that he's gone. I mean, he's good to have around, but I wasn't surprised at all. I imagine you were. I seem to be the most. I'm sorry. I seem to be the least surprised person that he was released. So it didn't come as a shock to me at all. But I will miss him slightly. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I was a little surprised about Del Rio being released. I was expecting him to be gone sooner because there were reports that he wanted to leave. So I didn't think it would be this soon. But it's interesting to see Del Rio getting released. I like Del Rio in terms of his wrestling ability, but his charisma,
his enziguri.
Yeah, it's just
his enziguri is probably the main thing I'll miss about him. And did you happen to notice the tweets that the WWE Twitter account sent out earlier on, a couple of hours ago?
No, I did not.
WWE said basically they tweeted out and they told fans that unprofessional conduct is not to be tolerated, and that if you're going to be angry with somebody, then be angry with Alberto, which seems like a really, really strange. Just a strange thing for them to tweet, because I've never ever seen that before.
Yeah, and I also noticed too in their press release that they never gave him the best regards as they usually do for the other employees, like best regards to Alberto Del Rio on his future endeavors. They didn't say that in the press release, which was very interesting.
They didn't use his real name either. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
They used Alberto Del Rio. They didn't use Alberto Rodriguez, I was surprised the amount of people who picked up on that and immediately thought, "Oh, it must be a storyline. It must be a storyline." I'm not entirely convinced it's a storyline. I don't think Del Rio is important enough. I don't think enough people care about him for that to be a storyline. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't really want to see him go. But it is what it is. And apparently, he slapped a member of WWE social media team for making a racist remark. I don't really know what happened there. That's just what the dirt sheets are saying. Yeah. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that. It's something unprofessional, but I don't think maybe a racist tweet, because I don't remember them tweeting anything necessarily racist. So I'm interested to see what this unprofessional conduct was. I've heard that it was on one of the backstage announcers, but I think that's unlikely too. But I'm interested to see what Del Rio's going to do now, because apparently Dave Meltzer reported that TNA was trying to get the number of Alberto Del Rio as soon as they could and sign him to their promotion. Yeah,
and AAA as well.
Yeah.
So But will you miss him?
Will I miss him? Not really. But he was a good talent. Like, he was cemented in the mid card area. I think his wrestling abilities scream main event, and I think he did have the look to be a main event guy, but his charisma and mic skills didn't really hold up that, and so
he was also involved in a couple of really, really bad feuds. I'm thinking of the feud with Sheamus comes to mind. It was one of the worst feuds I've seen in the last few years. Which, by the way, if you want to rewatch that, you can check that out on the WWE Network for $9.99 a month.
Yeah, definitely go check that out.
Although me and you can actually watch the network. Is that true?
Very soon. That's a nice little segue. WWE announced that for the WWE Network that they're going to go into over 150 countries, I believe, for October 12th, and Canada is one of them. But unfortunately, from what it sounds like, it's just going to be a premium channel. But I'm not too sure. I asked the WWE Network Twitter account, and they said they don't know. So, I was
surprised that WWE haven't announced Canada, Canada, the UK, and maybe Mexico. I was surprised that those three countries weren't able to access the network before other countries, because WWE have huge. I mean, Canada. How many events do WWE have in Canada a year? I mean, quite a few. It's like they've had a lot of big moments out there, and obviously England and the UK is a big market for WWE. So I was personally kind of offended, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. I was just surprised that other countries get the network before we do, and it was I don't really get why they've done that.
Yeah, I don't understand that, and just a personal opinion, I think Canada has the best wrestling fans in the world. But
yeah, I'm not gonna dispute that. London is I live just outside of London, and London is a great city for everything except for wrestling. There's nothing wrestling in London. There's everything in London. Just people don't tend to care about wrestling, and apart from when Raw and SmackDown comes to the O2, it's not really something that people really get into. So I can't really comment on how good English fans are, because we only get 2 shows here a year, which is ridiculous in my opinion. But so I can't necessarily say you're wrong. That why do you think Canadian fans are the best fans in the world?
Because they're awesome, and they have the best chance. I could name a whole list right now, but that would be way too long. But no, I kid. Like, Canada has some good fans, and what I've seen in Britain has been really good fans there in Britain too. But I'm surprised you say, coming from London, that the fans there aren't as into wrestling, except when Raw and SmackDown.
No. When I say that, what I meant was opportunities for wrestling are very small.
Okay.
The fact there's a lot of English people like wrestling is the opportunities. There's nothing in London to do wrestling related.
Yeah,
that's what I meant, which is surprising and a little bit surprising, as I say. But I don't really get that. But speaking of the network, how sick was everybody of Jerry Lawler and JBL trying to hype up the network on Monday Night Raw this week? I mean, how deplorable was that to listen to? I mean, you must have hated that like we all did, surely.
Man, it was just so brutal, that $9.99 promotion. I kind of was riding the bandwagon a little bit, because if you follow my Twitter account at @RawIsGibby, I tweeted out a picture of the DX conference, and it was saying, from the hours of 8 to 11 Eastern time, the WWE Network will be promoted for $9.99 a month.
Triple H, when Triple H was plugging it in his promo in the opening segment of Raw, he did it in a funny way. He was doing it false. He was doing it deliberately. He was trying to get something out of the crowd, wasn't he? He was doing it sort of in a fairly entertaining way. But when you have JBL and Cole and Lawler, who, by the way, as I've written about recently, are, to me, absolutely awful. I like WWE, but I can't stand. I'd sometimes watch it muted. I can't stand these commentators at all. I'm just done with all three of them. And but yeah, Jerry Lawler sitting there in his how would you describe the t-shirts that Jerry Lawler wears? I mean, I'm sorry, you cannot wear them to work. And having him argue with JBL over.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily argue, but having them plug the network in a really cringy way. I'm sorry. I mean, the network looks really good, I have to admit, and I will probably buy it. I can't say that it looks bad at all. I've seen I've seen snippets of it on YouTube because obviously I can't get it myself. However, the constant plugging that's got to stop. It's definitely going to put fans off.
Yeah, especially in the past, how they promoted the WWE app comes to mind when I hear that. And remember Tout?
That was brutal. That's bad memories.
Yeah, and we're not saying that the WWE network is like Tout or the WWE app. In fact, if you get the network right now, it's $9.99 a month, so it's really good. It's we're just saying, the promotion, like, I don't think it's the promotion of the network that's the problem. It's just the content of the network that's really the problem.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I listen to quite a few wrestling podcasts, and a lot of them are done by older men in their 30s and 40s, and a lot of them have been complaining about the lack of old school material on the network. And to me, I'm younger. I'm 18 years old, so I don't necessarily resonate with older material, but that's one of the main criticisms of the network that I've heard. There isn't enough old school material on the network, and some people do want that stuff added, but whether it will be added or not, and also people also want live shows added as well. I didn't even think live shows could be added to the network. But yeah. Are you going to buy the network?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to get the network when it shows up. As long as they don't, force the promotion down my throat, I'll definitely get it. Yeah.
Oh, they will. Definitely. They will.
But you mentioned content on the network. It was recently announced at I believe, a New York press conference that WCW Monday Nitro episodes will now be uploaded to the WWE Network. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't seen much of WCW Nitro because obviously my age, that doesn't stop me. I can watch old stuff on YouTube. But it's definitely a good thing because obviously having more content on the network can in no way be a bad thing. There are obviously going to be people that are going to want to watch that. Older fans are going to want to relive memories from WCW Nitro. I worry a little bit that WWE are trying to appease the older fan base a little much, especially when you consider that a lot of wrestling fans nowadays are obviously children, as it always has been like. So I mean, how many 11-year-olds do you think are sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I really want to check out WCW Nitro"? I mean, they haven't even heard of it. So yeah. I think it's a good idea. I just think I can't see a lot of people watching it, but the people that are old enough will remember it and are interested. Then yeah, it's a good idea. Definitely go for it. I think it's a good idea. I'm assuming you agree.
Yeah, I like that they're putting some of those WCW Nitro episodes on. I think it'll help get some subscriptions because I think people are unsubscribing because there's all the pay-per-views and all that, right? And there's the live pay-per-views that happen and the past Monday Night Raws, but there's nothing to WCW like old Nitro episodes or old WCW Thunder episodes or anything like that. So I think it'll help appease that older fan base and keep subscriptions from dropping, really. I don't think it's really made to gain subscriptions. I think it's supposed to like maintain subscriptions. So
yeah. Another criticism I've actually heard. Are you aware that WWE are bleeping out certain words that aren't for children, some of the promos Steve Austin would say years ago. So words like that. They've also been bleeping over some old music as well that they no longer have copyright for, which is crazy because why would you bleep out things on your own network? It's only WWE fans that are going to be buying the network, which by the way it's $9.99 a month. So I don't understand why WWE felt the need to censor certain stuff when the only people buying them are going to be WWE fans. They're going to want to see that. I don't understand why they censored it at all. Yeah. But also related to the network, the logo. Do you like the new logo?
I like the new logo. I think it looks all right, but it's essentially the Scratch logo just modernized.
Yeah.
But
I like the new logo, but you were saying on a synopsis you gave me, you were saying that you mentioned about it being, you mentioned the new WWE the new WWE title belt coming soon. I imagine it will be Brock Lesnar's after SummerSlam. Is my prediction. But I like the new logo, but I don't think it looks good at all on the new belt. I think that it's been plastered. I think it's huge. It covers the entire face of the belt. And it's a decent logo. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just looks a bit easy. It looks like they've put no effort into it. They've just plastered this huge logo on, and there's no detail, there's no design. I mean, when you look at the big gold belt, the world title for so many years, it was a good looking belt. You had carvings, jewels, that kind of thing. I don't know exactly what was put on them, if you know what I mean, but with this belt, for a start, it looks like the one that's around now. It looks like the belt that The Rock introduced last year, just with the new logo. And I don't have a problem with the logo at all, but to me, it just doesn't look like they've put anywhere near the kind of effort they should have put into it. I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are of it.
Honestly, I don't care about what the look of the new belt looks like. I'm more interested to see if this new belt is just going to be the one belt instead of the big gold belt. You know what I mean? So he's just carrying around that one belt because hopefully Lesnar wins. I don't want Cena to win, but if Cena wins, we complain on the internet. So
sure.
And
I'm not a huge Lesnar fan. I respect him because he's obviously one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my entire life. But with Lesnar, is he really that deserving? He makes money, definitely. He's a draw. You bring him back to WWE, and people will want to see him. But when he broke the streak, that was. I've never been so shocked in my entire life, especially watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling usually these days is so predictable. And when that happened, obviously Brock is now, he has to kind of cement that and take that forward and win the belt to kind of help to complete the legacy, if that makes any sense. Yeah. And so I expect him to win next Sunday. But if John Cena wins, then I guess we'll get more of John Cena, which is always a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, if Cena wins, it wouldn't make any sense because if Cena wins, then you could have easily put one of your younger guys and have him carry the belt a little longer. Like Wyatt and Reigns and even Cesaro, but Cesaro's kind of out of the picture now.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's a crime.
Yeah, it is a crime. He's a really good wrestler, but anyways, I was saying that back in that Money in the Bank ladder match for the titles, I was hoping that a new guy would win instead of Cena, but figuring that they were going to bring Lesnar back for SummerSlam, then Cena was instantly the guy who was going to take over and win the belt. But if Cena wins, it's just if Cena wins at SummerSlam, it makes no sense for them booking wise.
The only incentive storyline wise for Cena to win is that he wants to be the one who beat the one in 21-1, which is exactly. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. And the thing is, it's not. I don't think the question is Brock going to win at SummerSlam, because he will. I think the question is how long is he going to have it for? Because he's scheduled for Night of Champions the month after, which will obviously be a rematch. So you would think, some people would think, so he might drop it at Night of Champions then. But I don't actually think that's going to happen. I think he's going to have it all the way until next WrestleMania. Personally, yeah, I really think that.
I think they'll probably plan a storyline around that where Lesnar leaves with a belt and they have a new belt coming. and then at around maybe Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, the belts will the champion of the new belt and Brock Lesnar will fight each other, and then eventually unify the belts, kind of like what they did with CM Punk back in 2011. I think that's a route they can go with.
That's possible. Yeah. I'm thinking because obviously WWE are intent on pushing Roman Reigns, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
At the moment, Roman Reigns is good at the moment. But the worry is, and it's going to happen. Come 3 years time, people are gonna be sick of Roman Reigns. He's gonna be Reigns Tista. He's gonna be Reigns Cena, and everyone's he's gonna win every match, and people are gonna get all. They're going to give him the John Cena treatment, which isn't what you want to see, because people want to see new stars, and Roman Reigns right now is new. So I think Roman Reigns will be winning the Royal Rumble next year, and I think he will face Lesnar for the title in the main event, and I would like to see that personally.
Yeah, me too. So we'll just move on to talking about the budget cuts affecting WWE. WWE cut 7% of its employees, including some NXT wrestlers, and longtime timekeeper Mark Yeaton. Nobody's safe from WWE cuts.
And they didn't cut Zack Ryder.
No.
Which was ridiculous. And you might have seen yesterday, I tweeted him, and he actually replied, and it was quite shocking. But I said in the tweet, I said... it was after the news that Del Rio had been released, and I said to Zack Ryder, or somewhere right now, Zack Ryder is thinking, come on, I just need 12 more people to get released, and I'm going to get my chance.
Yeah.
And I thought he'd get angry, but he took he had a sense of humour of it, which was positive. But yeah, 7% of the workforce to me is quite a lot, obviously. My thinking is that it's coming from the fact that WWE have had disappointing results in terms of the number of subscribers to their network. They lost 128,000 a few weeks back. People cancelled their memberships, so I think WWE are kind of in a state of panic at the moment, and I think I don't think we've seen the end of it. I think there's going to be more, and I think the cuts will go on until maybe fall, winter time. I don't think this is the end of the cuts. I really don't. Do you?
Yeah, it's definitely not the end of the cuts. I was a little surprised that the timekeeper Mark Yeaton got cut, because he's been there forever.
21 years.
Yeah, 21 years. So I'm just wondering, is nobody safe from these WWE cuts now that Mark Yeaton is gone? Because...
Mark Eden, in terms of his longevity, was an important employee. But I mean, how many fans, if you were to take a poll on their website, how many fans know who Mark Eden is? I mean, maybe 30%. I don't think many fans know who he is. And I think if he goes, I don't think necessarily everybody is safe. Obviously, you have some people that are safe. You have people that are never going to be sacked and released. Yeah. But as I say, I don't think that this is the end of the cuts. And with regards to Mark Yeaton, I think it's just the beginning. I think they're going to get rid of Tony Chimmel unless he has gone. Is he around? I haven't seen Tony Chimmel in a long time.
I think he's gone, but I'm not too sure.
He might be on main event. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who do you, in terms of the roster, do you see anyone else being cut?
In terms of the roster, they did really cut a lot of their, jobber guys, except Ryder. I don't think Ryder will be cut because I think he's more of a social media guy for WWE, so they kind of need that, so...
I know. Yeah, we spoke about him yesterday. I know you said you didn't think it was too bad. I think he's awful. I don't think he has talent at all. I think if you were just sitting down in a chair and play him DVDs or footage of everyone on the independent circuit right now, you would look at him and you would tell him 80% of everybody in front of you is better than you. So take your residual check and keep your mouth shut. I don't think he should have a job personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, who am I to say that? I mean, I'm not Vince McMahon, so I can't get rid of him.
True.
I With regards to the 11 that were cut, I think every single one of them were justified being released. It's not nice to see somebody lose their job, but I don't think any of them came as a surprise. I wouldn't assume that you were surprised by any of them.
No, I wasn't. Some of those cuts weren't really surprising to me. The 3MB cuts were surprising to me. Jinder Mahal and McIntyre. Those cuts surprised me the most. The other ones didn't really surprise me. I was disappointed to see JTG's reign end. Insane in the company,
Yeah.
I was disappointed to see that, but what has he really done? So.
Oh no, nothing. I mean, I was amazed he stayed as long as he did. I was a little bit surprised. If I was surprised at any of them, I would say Brodus Clay.
Yeah.
Recovering beyond this, because I'm personally surprised TNA have lasted as long as they have. I don't know if you watch TNA. I used to watch it. I don't anymore. Do you watch TNA?
I watched a bit of TNA. I started around 2012 after that terrible GM moment. That moment where the mystery GM was finally revealed and it was Hornswoggle.
Oh, how has he not been cut, by the way? How has he not been cut?
Yeah.
And the great Khali, I mean, enough with him. I don't care. I don't care if he's the Indian president. Get rid of him. He's nothing. And anyway, going back to SmackDown on Thursday, what do you think? It's a good move?
I think it's a pretty good move. I'm actually, if it does happen, I'm ecstatic because this show will get more views now if SmackDown moves to Thursdays, so I wouldn't be competing with WWE SmackDown at the 8 o'clock time slot. But personally, I don't really see too much of a difference in SmackDown moving to Thursdays. No. I think it's just maybe it's some sort of cost-cutting move. I don't know.
Because there was a speculation for a while that they would make SmackDown live, but that would be more expensive, I think. So I can't see SmackDown going live anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's still recorded on Tuesdays. To me, it's not too important that it's been moved to Thursdays. But as I said before, I don't think TNA will like it one little bit. To be honest with you.
No, definitely not. And TNA will definitely not like it. And I was just told the sound went off a little bit. Just summarize what you said about SmackDown moving to Thursdays, and then we'll continue from there.
Yeah, sure. I was just basically saying that SmackDown moving to Thursdays isn't, I don't think, mightily important either way, be it a good thing or a bad thing for WWE. I think TNA will be a little bit miffed at the move. I don't think they'll like it, and I think that eventually, with people watching SmackDown, because I do think SmackDown is better than TNA, it's a big shock there. I think TNA will suffer from that. It will chip away at their ratings. But for WWE, I don't see it being majorly important in a good way or a bad way. Then moving SmackDown to Thursday, so it is what it is, and we'll still get to enjoy SmackDown just on a different day. That's all I have to really say about it.
Yep. And
can I ask? With regard to next Monday's Raw, did you hear about who's scheduled to return?
Next Monday's Raw, and spoiler alert for those guys who don't want to know what the surprise is for next Monday.
You don't want to know, trust me.
Yeah, trust me, it's pretty big. So I recommend muting it. I'll tweet in the mentions bar when you can get back online once we're done the spoilers. But starting now, we're going to talk about the big return of the NWO coming this week. Or next week, and it's going to be on Hulk Hogan's birthday. Do you think how excited are you for the possibility of the NWO returning to Monday Night Raw?
Excited, I don't think is the word. I don't hate the NWO. I remember them when I was young. Sorry. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan. I'm not fans of any of them. I don't really think much of any of them for different reasons. I have my reasons on each, and we'll get into Hulk Hogan in a few minutes if that's okay. NWO returning is why not? I mean, I'll watch it. It's just an episode of Raw. It's not a long term thing. So I'm in that sense. I mean, it's a nostalgia thing. So I'll be watching it either way, whether I like it or not. But it's just like when any legend returns, you watch it to see what they do. You watch it to see them again. You watch it for the nostalgia, and you just want to relive what used to be. So I don't think the NWO segment, whatever it is on Raw, will be very memorable. But hopefully it's moderately entertaining. What about you? What do you think?
I'm excited for this reunion. I do like Scott Hall. I'm not the biggest fans of Hogan and Nash. But the NWO was a very influential group, so it's going to be nice to see them reunite. And Scott Hall's back on the rails. He's been drug free for a while. And so I think it's good for him. And there's other guests, I think, that's going to be on the reunion, including Jimmy Hart. I also heard Paul Orndorff's going to be there, so that's
Paul Orndorff will be there as well. Yeah. I think it's always nice to see Paul Orndorff. Paul Orndorff is one of the older legends who I actually don't mind seeing around. I've seen Legends House and some of the legends are good to watch, and I don't mind a bit of Paul Orndorff. I don't think much of Jimmy Hart, but I'm too young for him to appeal to me really. But so hopefully the NWO segment will be good. Hogan's birthday, my birthday's in November. Are we going to be celebrating that on Raw? I don't think so. I mean, what's the need to do this? Hulk Hogan, you may know, has done interviews recently saying that. He's training like crazy is the quote. Training like crazy for his in-ring return. Yeah. And in the same interview, he was hyping up our resident golden boy John Cena, and Hogan said that Cena was the greatest WWE champion of all time. Did you read those quotes?
Yeah, I read those quotes, and I totally disagree with him 100%. It's not like I don't like Cena. I mean, I respect his, out of the ring, personality, what he's done for charities and all of that. I respect him for that, but in the ring, he's been playing the same character for 10 years, and the reason why people don't really like him is because, his character doesn't evolve, So,
my god,
it's the same character,
It's the same catchphrase, it's the same,
yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, brother, and then looking to the left, expecting the reaction he got in 1925 or whenever he was last, anything special. I don't. Honestly, I don't mind seeing Hulk Hogan return because obviously there are people who still want to see him. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm not the be all and end all of wrestling fans. That's fine. But I don't want to see Hulk Hogan wrestle again. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see. I have a really, really strange feeling at WrestleMania 31. We're going to see Lesnar Reigns, we're going to see Undertaker Sting, and we're going to see Hulk Hogan versus John Cena.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just my personal prediction. It might be well off. I hope it's well off because I don't want to see Hulk Hogan versus John Cena. But I mean, if that was to materialize, would that be something you would particularly? In mind, I do think he will return to the ring. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see an old man laid out in the ring, not able to get up, because we had enough of that with the Undertaker earlier on this year. I love Undertaker. I mean, who doesn't love Undertaker? But I don't want to see Hogan return to the ring. But as with the whole NWO return, Hogan's birthday. I mean, it's just an episode of Raw. It's fine. I'll watch it, and hopefully it will be good.
Yep. So we'll move on here. Let's see. What have we not talked about?
WWE 2K15.
Yes, 2K15. Very excited about these new screenshots released.
Yes.
The new screenshot released today of Randy Orton. 2 screenshots actually. And what do you think about the look of the new game? And do you think it will be live up to its status as the next big wrestling game?
I have mixed thoughts on the WWE games because first of all, I think the WWE games are really good. I enjoy them. I don't buy every single one because they're expensive. Yeah. The graphics I saw earlier, especially the one of Orton from the back with his arms out, was really good. I thought the graphics were amazing. I'm questioning the decision slightly as to why WWE chose Orton and Cena to help promote the game. Yeah. I understand Cena, but I would have thought they would have gone with Bryan or Bray Wyatt or someone. I just thought they would go with someone new because was Bray Wyatt in WWE 2K14? I don't have the game. No, he wasn't. So I would have Bray Wyatt in on the promotional aspect of it. But anyway, with regards to the game obviously I heard is in 2 halves this year. You have your half of your career. You have your own created wrestler, and you go up. You climb the ladder to success, if you like, through career mode or the new career mode, whatever it's called, which does seem pretty interesting because it gives you goals, it gives you something to work towards. I must admit, WWE the Attitude Era mode was added to WWE 2K13. Or WWE 13, sorry, a year or 2 ago, and I didn't like that at all. I didn't like Attitude Era at all. So I'm not actually too clear on the other half of the game. Maybe you could clarify that for me.
That 2K showcase, I believe you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's essentially the story mode, but it's looking at the rivalries instead of actually, a certain. So instead of 30 years of WrestleMania or Attitude Era, they're just looking at the rivalries. So looking at these are just guesses that I think they're going to be in the game. I think it's going to be Brett and Shawn. That rivalry. They got to have Rock and Austin in there.
Are there just two?
Pardon?
How many
I think
rivalries
there's just two. It's just 2-person rivalries, like some of the greatest rivalries of all time, and you kind of like relive them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking, because if you only have 2 rivalries, I would. To me that's. The rivalries they will have are great. I mean, Brett, Shawn, and Stone Cold versus The Rock. I mean, everybody loved at the time. Everybody loved those rivalries. They were great. Yep. I would have thought they would add some more, and I don't know if they are planning to add more. And I'm thinking, Undertaker, Kane, possibly adding that in, which was good in the Attitude Era. I'm just trying to think. I mean, you had DX in the Attitude Era, Mankind. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, I will be buying this year's game. I buy every other game. Mm-hmm. So on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, I haven't decided yet. So but the game from the screenshots I saw earlier, the game looks really good. I mean, in terms of the detail they put in the graphics, you can't deny it. It's really impressive, I think. So I'm liking the game.
I'm liking the game. It's looking pretty cool. I do like how these wrestlers look. It should be noted, though, in those screenshots that in the Cena one, there wasn't a work in progress text on the bottom right corner, and in the Orton one, there was. So it's interesting to see that.
So maybe they might add something to them. Yeah. Sure.
Because I noticed in the Orton one, there wasn't any audience, I don't believe. While in the Cena one, you kind of saw the audience. Not crazy, obviously, but you could kind of see the audience. So maybe it's just different. Maybe it's just different photos that they've taken.
In recent games, I don't think they've put enough emphasis on the audience. I don't think the interaction with the crowd has been good. They put a lot of work into each wrestler, but what are the wrestlers without a crowd? And obviously a crowd are harder to create, because you're trying to install thousands or hundreds of people onto the game who aren't important. But hopefully they put more emphasis on the crowd, because obviously when you have a good crowd, even in a game, it will feel more realistic. And I have friends who go to a college near where I live who do game design, and some of them will be looking at the game, and they test out games and stuff like that. So hopefully the game turns out good. I think it will be good, and as I said, I will be buying the game this year. So I'm looking forward to it. And are you going to be buying it?
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely going to be buying the game. I'm interested to note too, because a lot of video game owners still have the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So I'm wondering what the current gen will look like, or in this case, the previous gen. Because I heard they said they're having a new lighting system and all this. So they're saying the graphics can be improved on the game. So I'll be interested to see what those look like.
That is true. One of the. Do you remember in the older games they had general manager mode?
Yep.
That was my favourite thing on WWE games, and so many people I know agree with me on this.
Yeah.
When they took them out, I think the games for me they got worse. They weren't bad, but they got worse. I mean, I really enjoyed General Manager mode because it was tricky, especially the prospect of online General Manager mode. I think would be quality. I would really enjoy playing on online General Manager mode. The problem that we have now though is that we only have one important brand. There's no. I mean, Raw is head and shoulders above everything else WWE do. Yep. So it's just Raw now. So obviously it doesn't necessarily make sense with the time. But yeah, as I say, as a concept, I really miss that from the game. So maybe in a few years' time we may get that back. But yeah, I missed that, and I don't know about you. I don't know whether you played it. Did you? I loved it.
I played a bit of it. I never owned it, but I did like that game. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so we'll move on. Before we get to our questions, just want to mention this quickly. We've got Global Force Wrestling announcing another partnership with World Wrestling Promotions in South Africa.
Okay.
How do you think Global Force Wrestling will fare with the other promotions, so WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, all that?
And I think one thing I've noticed is that people seem to be really, really behind Global Force Wrestling. People seem to be really behind Jeff Jarrett. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett and his promotion, because I think with the failures of TNA, I think people want to see something refreshing. People want to see a new company come to the fray, and I think people want some decent, healthy competition for WWE. And yeah, so I don't know why. Do you know why it was in particular? It was South Africa. Is that important at all? The sponsor?
Well, it's in World Wrestling Promotions. I think Leo Kruger and Justin Gabriel came from that promotion. So,
Okay.
But I know that World Wrestling Promotions is I believe they said the biggest wrestling promotion in the Southern Hemisphere, which they said.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting
Yeah.
that they partnered.
Sure, yeah. I mean, where can we watch? Where can we watch Global Force? I mean, I haven't really. I can't sit here and say that I know everything about it because I definitely don't.
They haven't set a TV deal yet, as far as I know.
Okay.
But they've partnered with New Japan Pro Wrestling and AAA down in Mexico, and now this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Maybe Spike could take them on. Wouldn't that be a nice slap in the face to Dixie Carter? Who, by the way, you may not know, just been released. Dixie Carter actually broke her hand in the segment yesterday when she
when she went
took
through the
that
table.
awful. Did you see the bump that she took?
Yep. Oh,
I didn't
did.
see it, but I heard it was bad.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't hear that she broke her hand, but I heard she broke her back in that spot.
Storyline. But
Storyline, okay.
On Bleacher Report, I'm looking. Yeah, apparently Dixie Carter has broken her hand for real, which is also very funny because I don't like Dixie Carter much. I don't think much of her, to be honest. But yeah, as I say, I don't watch TNA, but I just heard about it online earlier on, so
Yeah.
I wondered if you'd seen it. Sorry, but no, you haven't. Okay.
So I guess we'll move on to some of the Twitter and Facebook questions. So thank you for 10 questions this week. If you want to send me questions for the next Friday Night Talkdown, you can send them to me at RozGibby. Also, you can see in the sidebar we got tweets rolling. So you want to tweet throughout the show, tweet to the same Twitter handle, and you'll see it on the side.
Yeah, you can also tweet me at Oliver NORGROVU. So yeah, I can pick them up as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
And so we'll get started here. First question. This comes from at Matt Turmoil. This was from a different podcast that I did, but I wanted to see your take on it. What is your favorite SummerSlam match of all time?
My favorite SummerSlam match of all time. That's a good question. My favorite SummerSlam match of all time is actually Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle in 2003. I believe it was for the WWE Championship, and I remember Kurt Angle winning. You had Vince McMahon ringside, who tried to screw Angle, and it backfired. As a kid, obviously, you find that sort of thing funny. But yeah, I mean, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar was a great rivalry, I thought, and their matches to me were really, really good, and still are. So to me, that's my favorite SummerSlam match of all time. And what about you?
My favorite SummerSlam match is from SummerSlam 2000. This was Dudley Boys versus Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the World Tag Team Championships. This was the first encounter that they ever had, and I think it's... I don't know if it's better than WrestleMania 17 one, but I thought it was better than the WrestleMania 2000 match.
I didn't see that. I saw the one at WrestleMania, but I didn't see the one at SummerSlam. But I mean, obviously, that's one of the things I missed about wrestling years ago, was that those teams worked so well together, and you always knew you'd get a good match. So yeah, that's actually a good shout.
I love that match, and it was close too because I also really liked the Bret Hart British Bulldog match in 1992 in front of English crowd. And
Okay.
probably because I love it because of the massive pop that happened when British Bulldog won the Intercontinental Championship. Because British fans really, really behind British Bulldogs. So
Of course.
yeah, and that's up there. But I think the Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian match at SummerSlam 2000 was my favorite.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next question. This is also from at Matt Turmoil. If you could start your own promotion, one guy from WWE, one guy from TNA, and one guy from Ring of Honor, who would they be?
That was a really good question. I remember seeing that. I really liked that question. I thought it was good. For me, I don't know much about Ring of Honor, but I like Jay Lethal. I don't know why I like him. I think he's a good wrestler. So I would take him. Also, that's slightly based on the fact that I don't know the entire roster for Ring of Honor. So maybe if I was an expert, I would have a better choice on that one. WWE, I would definitely take Dean Ambrose. I think he's the best thing going right now. And for TNA, I would probably take. Would be a toss-up, either Magnus or. Yeah, I would probably take Magnus, and I don't watch TNA as I said, but anymore. But yeah, they would definitely be my picks. But the most solid of the three, I would definitely have Dean Ambrose in my promotion. But that was thanks for the question. That was a really good question.
Yeah, and what I would pick, the one guy from WWE. That's a tough one, but I'm debating between Daniel Bryan or Dean Ambrose, as you said. I'll go with Daniel Bryan because I think he's a better wrestler and he'd get over. TNA, I'd pick. This is another one of those. I'm debating between Austin Aries and Bobby Lashley actually. Because I actually really like Bobby Lashley.
Okay, yeah.
I'd probably pick Aries though. But Lashley would definitely be in consideration. And for Ring of Honor, it has to be Adam Cole, the Ring of Honor World Champion right now. Oh no, sorry, Michael Elgin's the Ring of Honor World Champion. But,
Michael Elgin, yeah.
But Adam Cole, he's got great look. And he's got very good wrestling ability, and I think he could definitely be a top main event guy in my promotion anyways. So,
you said toss-up between Bryan and Ambrose. The reason why I pick Ambrose there is because, firstly, he's 4 years younger, and secondly, he doesn't have a serious neck injury that could. I mean, I'm not being funny. That will shorten his career. There's no doubt about that. We saw that with Edge. So
that's true.
Yeah, Ambrose I think is the pick.
That's true. That's entirely true. But I'm just taking it in terms of if they were healthy and ready to go.
Fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, but I would take Daniel Bryan any day. But we'll move on to the next question.
So you wouldn't take the Demon Kane, no?
Yeah, of course I take Demon Kane. I'll take his Corporate Kane counterpart too. I'll take Corporate Kane as well. He can help me with my business and my insurance.
Kane is actually I'm actually a diehard Kane fan. Kane is actually my favourite of all time. That may sound funny. I'm probably the only person in the world who is a diehard Kane fan, especially now.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you hear just quickly, if you don't mind me throwing it in?
Nope.
Did you hear about PW Mania were reporting that WWE are considering repackaging Kane as Jacob Goodnight from See No Evil?
Oh, I've heard of that. That's so stupid.
Yeah, I thought that's either going to be really good or really bad, which can be said for everything Kane has ever done. Yeah. It's either been really good or really bad, and I think I hope they don't. There's no point repackaging Kane, as that would be like repackaging The Undertaker. It would be stupid. What's the point?
Yeah, so they've already repackaged him like 4 times. Like they've had they originally started out with Isaac Yankem, then they had Fake Diesel. And then he turned him into Kane, and then I consider Corporate Kane a different gimmick, so I consider that repackaging.
I consider that a bad memory.
Yeah, so that could be really good, but it's clearly just promotion for their movie. I think I don't even remember what the movie name is called. I don't really care. I'm not going to watch it, but
See No Evil 2.
See No Evil 2.
Yeah.
I did not see No Evil, so I don't really care about See No Evil 2.
That's fine. Yeah,
but
most people don't care about Kane anymore.
I think Kane should just retire. To be honest, he's done his part in the business. I think he's all good.
Yeah.
But we'll go on. We'll keep up these Twitter questions, and then I'll move on to Facebook. Next Twitter question I have here. This is from @thatZigglerGirl. Sandow or Ziggler? Who's worse off right now?
Oh, Sandow.
Yeah.
Easily. Oh, I mean, Ziggler's on the card at SummerSlam at least. I mean, he's in a match.
At least he has a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's not winning, unfortunately, because. And by the way, how awful has the Miz's return been? I mean, you could count the amount of people that care about him on one finger. I'm sorry, one hand.
Yeah.
I want to see the mid card titles unified, but I want Ziggler to be the one to do it, and I don't think WWE will do that.
No. I agree with you. Sandow is way worse off. I mean, if I have to go on every week, going on and wearing a stupid costume, I'd consider what I'm doing in the wrestling business and just leave.
And I think Damien Sandow has all the talent in the world. I think he's really, really good. I mean, original Damien Sandow I'm talking about here. When he first came in as the intellectual savior of the masses, I thought that was amazing. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah.
And I'm personally, I was quite sad when I knew where it was going with him. He caught I call it Ryback's disease. I don't know if you saw it. I wrote an article about it. I call it Ryback's disease because Ryback's disease is basically a condition that a young superstar catches when they attempt to beat John Cena for a world championship.
Yeah.
And it always happens to John Cena. He's the poison here.
Oh, yeah.
And not that it's his fault. He's not a writer, but it just happened to happen to Ryback and Sandow, and it's a shame. So yeah, to answer that question, Sandow is definitely worse off.
Sandow, yeah, definitely. So we'll move on. This comes from the @MikedUp podcast. What type of show would you like to see on the WWE Network?
What type of show? Is that a wrestling show or is that
any kind of show?
Obviously, a wrestling show. I'm saying, is that a pay-per-view or what?
I think we're talking like a Legends House or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you have Legends House, you have Total Divas. Total Divas is so bad, it's good.
Yeah.
What would I like to see on it? Honestly, WWE wouldn't do it because they wouldn't like to critique their own talent. Yeah. But I would like to see a panel of either legendary or future Hall of Famers just sit down and commentate over matches. I think that would be quite entertaining to listen to. I mean, it wouldn't happen because you have the likes of Ric Flair around and he says whatever the hell he wants to say. You know what Ric Flair's like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be what I would have a panel like that. That would be what I would add to it. But yeah, that's a good question.
I would like to see Tough Enough come back onto the WWE Network.
Yeah.
I love Tough Enough. No matter how bad the wrestlers who won got off, I still loved it.
Yeah. So that's a good suggestion. But obviously the winners got nowhere.
Yeah. Especially that last winner. He was like cut within 3 months or whatever.
Big Andy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad choice. They went look over wrestling ability on that pick. Didn't like that.
I didn't watch the series, but yeah, I mean, it didn't look good for him. Definitely
not. It's interesting to note though that during that series, Cameron was the one who's really only got a successful career, as far as I know, from that show. Which
Cameron.
is sad. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cameron was on that show, and she was the one who said that her favorite match ever was Alicia Fox versus Melina.
Oh yeah, I mean that does crop up when you think of the best matches of all time. I mean, you think of Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Alicia Fox versus Melina. I mean, it does roll off the tongue.
Oh man, I'm surprised they don't have that on the network. I want to see that. I want to replay that.
And how much would you have to pay to see that?
$9.99, buddy. Absolutely. I would love to see Melina and Alicia Fox. I would love to see Melina come back and face Alicia Fox at WrestleMania in a whatever match type, buried alive, I don't care. Just put them in a match, it would work. Definitely.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh man. But anyways, I'll move on. This actually comes from at team_PWP. This is Pro Wrestling Powerhouse. So thank you again. And they asked, would Brock Lesnar as a part-time world champion work?
We touched on that a little bit earlier, but I think it has no choice but to work. I think people will still. I mean, Brock Lesnar will. I mean, he'll up his schedule if he's the champion. He will appear more. But I don't think people are going to stop watching just because Brock Lesnar is. I think people won't like it, but you know what wrestling fans are like. We say we don't like something, but then we just tune in next week and watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, I honestly, I would personally take part-time Brock Lesnar over John Cena all the time as the champion. My opinion.
Yeah. I think Lesnar could work as a part-time champion because The Rock worked as a part-time champion. But I know it's a different situation because Brock is going to be holding it possibly for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see how a part-time champion like Brock Lesnar works because I think he can work.
It's different, and different in wrestling is always welcome. I think different, as long as it's different and we haven't seen it before, I don't think it would be too bad, but who knows.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, can I just say Pro Wrestling Powerhouse, you can visit their Facebook page and follow them on Twitter. They're really, really good site, so I'd just like to plug them if that's okay.
Yeah, look, that's a good plug. That's all right. I mean, we've been plugging the network all shows, so which is
you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay $9.99 to watch Pro Wrestling Powerhouse. I'm afraid.
But if you want to pay $9.99, go buy the network. So.
Oh yeah, sure.
But we'll move on here. At WWE Detonator, do you think SummerSlam should return to being outdoors in an open-top arena?
I don't like open top arenas personally because the sound just floats out. I get why he asked it because open top arenas, they look nice. I mean, they look good, and I think it's I mean, the first time I ever saw a wrestling show live on TV in an open top arena, I was kind of taken back by it. I thought it looked weird. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think looking back, I think they look good. But it's the noise. I think you get less of an atmosphere. So I prefer how it is right now personally. I don't know about you.
I'm not the biggest fan of open top arenas either. Really though, I don't really care what kind of arena they're in. Because WWE is going to try and make money off of it anyway. So what's the point really to critique about wrestling arenas? But I agree. I don't really like the open top arena as much. I think a closed arena is better. It keeps in the noise and all that.
Exactly.
But I like closed top arenas better. I totally agree. So next question here. I believe this is our final Twitter question. This comes from at drwebster1. Rusev's push has been handled well so far. Do you see him becoming a top heel in the next couple of years, or do you see him becoming Cena fodder like so many before him? I like that. I'll answer this one. I think Rusev's push has been handled well so far, and I totally agree with that. But Rusev's not really been over by himself. It was clearly Lana that really helped him.
Yeah.
And so, but saying that though, I think he can become a top heel in the next couple of years. If Lana stays there, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But
I agree. I think Rusev. I mean, Rusev isn't the greatest thing you've ever seen, but I mean, it's always good to see. It's always good to see a new young talent come through, and at least try to do something different, try to do something entertaining, and I think I've been pleasantly surprised with how well Rusev has done. I thought crowds would be completely hating on him from day one, and they were skeptical at first, definitely because he's foreign, and that's just how it goes. He hadn't proven anything. But I agree with the question as well. The guy who asked it, I actually know the guy. I write for him. But yeah, he said he makes a good point. But with the whole Cena fodder thing, he's right about that. We have seen that in the past. We saw that with Nexus. You remember? And but I don't see Rusev and Cena. I don't see Rusev and Cena being a feud. I think both of them will just be doing their own separate things. I can't see it being a feud definitely anytime soon. I don't think it will be a feud this year.
No.
No, I don't think. I mean, John Cena's what, 37, 38 now.
Yeah.
I think he's done enough winning. Which is why I just want to see Brock Lesnar completely tear him apart. I just had enough of John Cena, and although I do respect him definitely, of course I do respect him. But I just don't like him. But yeah, I don't think Rusev will be fodder, and I agree that he has been handled well. I don't think he'll be a huge star though. I think he'll do well for a couple of years, and then I think he'll get the Mark Eaton treatment.
Yeah. And so you want to see Lesnar leave Cena in blood and vomit and urine?
And more blood.
And more blood. And more vomit and more urine.
All of that.
Oh, man. After the match, after he leaves him in blood, he'll goes down, he'll puke on him, and then he'll urinate on him.
Well, that is worth the $9.99, definitely.
Exactly. Yep, definitely worth it. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Rusev will definitely be a marquee name in the next couple of years. I mean, the anti-America gimmick has just been working so much for WWE, so I don't really see it failing now.
I like Jack Swagger in this. I like Jack Swagger in this role personally. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been great. He's done so much. He's done so much of nothing in the last 6-7 years that I think it makes a nice change for him to be doing something that the fans have actually got behind him. I feel good for him. He's not the best thing on TV, but I feel good for him that I think this is where he needs to be. He's in this position where this is what he needs to be doing now for a while, and however long it lasts, just keep milking it, and this is where he needs to be right now for me.
Yep, absolutely, and totally agree with you with Swagger. I mean, it's interesting to see how well he's handled a Swagger face turn, you know. And Coulter's really helped a lot. Coulter's really helped a lot in that. Yeah. Which is surprising to me because when I see Zeb Coulter, I just see a heel, but the way he's been talking, you know, Coulter has really helped Swagger with his face turn, and the "We the People" chants are just so loud now.
I love that chant. That's my favourite chant. Yeah. That's my favourite chant. I gotta say, better than "Let's go Cena." Cena sucks every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
or CM Punk.
I enjoy. Oh god, yeah, CM Punk. Yeah, had enough of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, fans will chant anything to be part of the show, and that's good because you want noise. So, you know, let them chant it. So, but yeah, I like what's happened with Rusev and Swagger, and I hope both of them can go as far with this as possible with whoever they feud with.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this is Swagger's chance to get back in the main event scene with this gimmick. As long as Coulter's still with him, this is his chance to get back into the main event scene. It's going to be harder because of the one title now. And there's a lot of guys right now that probably deserve to be in that main event picture than Swagger. But hopefully they can capitalize on this because, you know, this has really been a rejuvenation for Swagger. So. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, and so we'll move on to some of the Facebook questions we got. If you want to see me on Facebook, you can find my page, the Ruz Gibby Facebook page. And do you have any Facebook stuff, Ollie?
I am on Facebook. Yeah, Oliver Norgrove. Just type that in. It's Norgrove. I am on Facebook. I have no pages to plug anything other than Pro Wrestling Powerhouse and Roy's Give Me Podcast. So nothing. I don't like Facebook as much. I only use it to talk to friends. So
same here. So, but anyways, we'll go on. George Rushton asks, do you think the WWE will be able to generate enough revenue from another wrestler to allow John Cena to make a heel turn? If so, which wrestler do you believe will be able to do so?
I like that question, and it's hard to answer. Mm-hmm. George is he's a personal friend of mine, so I knew he'd give me something tough to answer. But yeah, it is actually. I mean, it seems incredible to think about a Cena heel turn because for so many years it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and it probably won't happen. And I mean, it does still feel like a pipe dream. But when you see the balance of power shift and when you see John Cena's time at the top slip away, for a change to freshen him up a bit, he may turn heel. So that I think I can see that happening in a couple of years' time. With regard to the question is who could replace him, who could generate enough money. I think I can see in the next 5 to 10 years. For me, I don't think there's going to be an outstanding man. I think it's going to be shared more so than it's ever been before. Go back generations. You have Cena the last 10 years. Then you had Austin and Rock. You had Hulk Hogan. You had San Martino. It was very much one man above most of the others. But honestly, I think with the next generation, you have Bray Wyatt. You have Cesaro. If WWE still remember him. You have Wyatt, you have Cesaro, you have the Shield members, and you have Bad News Barrett, who's a personal favourite of mine, being English. So I think it was shared, and I think Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt. I think it will be a mixture. I don't think it will be one person.
Yeah, I agree with you. The person who I think could be able to make a Cena heel turn happen. If we're looking right now, it's probably Reigns. But looking to the future, it's interesting. I would have said Daniel Bryan in the next couple of years, but he's hurt.
I think he'll be. I think when he comes back from injury, I think WWE will be very, very cautious with him. I think, and that's the right thing to do. Definitely. I mean, it's a neck injury. I feel sorry for Daniel Bryan. I think he's been the best thing. The best thing since 2012, and I feel sorry for him personally, and he's really, really a likable person. So you are right. I think if for a very short term, a very quick fix. I think Bryan will come back, and I think in a couple of years he will be the number one. But I don't think he'll be there very long. I would like him to be there long, but
me too. I thought CM Punk maybe would have been that guy a while ago, but I'm also thinking too. A Cena heel turn must only be used for when Cena's just about to be done and they need a new guy to take over. So saving a Cena heel turn for a very like a high rising superstar, like Reigns, Bryan, Ambrose, those guys.
Jacob
Goodnight, of course. Can't forget him. But the Cena heel turn has to make sense. It can't just be random. And that's why it's so crucial for Cena to get over on his own as a face. Because people are already booing him.
Also I think the thing with a John Cena heel turn is I think even if he does turn heel, I still think fans are going to not like him. As a percentage, how many fans do you think right at this moment do not like John Cena? Would you say 45%? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, 45 to 55.
I'm thinking. Even if John Cena did turn heel, those people would still not like him. I don't see a big change even if he did turn heel. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with that, mainly because I think the reason why fans don't like Cena is that they want to see him turn heel and stop being a nice guy. But I could see that point as well. But, Cena heel turn has to make sense, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. It's just, it has to make sense for him to turn heel. And these people that want him to rush this heel turn, it has to, again, I'm repeating myself, but it has to make sense. So, like, a guy on Reigns that's really rising high right now, it could make sense there. It really have to be like a once-in-a-lifetime talent to really get a Cena heel turn out of it.
The reason why I say that it wouldn't make a change in terms of fan opinions is because I don't think it's the heel face thing that people is the reason why people don't like him. I think it's just because we've seen enough of him. That's what it is for me. That's because that's my personal opinion. So that's why I don't think whether he turns heel or not, which won't be anytime soon. And also there's this some people are starting to speculate that he may be going to Hollywood within the next year, which I can also see. I can see him going to Hollywood in the next couple of years. I really can.
Yeah, I can too, but I don't think. I think it'll be like a Batista situation where it's much later on in his career, and his career is starting to dwindle down. I don't think it's going to be.
And by the way, that movie and Batista got really good reviews.
Oh yeah,
Batista I haven't seen it. I probably won't, but apparently he did a really good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised about that because I haven't seen the movie yet, but which I'm going to try and get to see, but wrestlers turned actors aren't really the best actors. Rock is an exception, but Hogan used to be in movies during the prime of his career. Austin is in movies, and he's not the greatest actor.
Oh God, no! His films are terrible. I mean, I don't like Hulk Hogan, but at least him. I think he did a good job in Rocky. I mean, we've all seen him in Rocky. But, I mean, that's the only thing I've ever watched Hogan in. I wouldn't spend the money on him otherwise. But a lot of wrestlers struggle in Hollywood, and I think the Miz will be the same. Although the Miz, I think, is just awful in general. But I see what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll move on. Final Facebook question that we've got here. This comes from Matt Wingrave. Name 3 superstars who haven't won a world title that you think should and why, and 3 that shouldn't have won a title and why.
Yeah. That's a good question. I'm gonna go. I'll take the 3 that have that shouldn't, and you take the 3 that haven't that should.
Okay.
First of all, the Great Khali, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, what a clusterfuck that was. I mean, that was terrible.
Yeah.
The Great Khali should never have had the world title, and I mean that's an obvious choice for. That's. Do you have anyone in mind? While I think of 2 more.
That shouldn't have won it.
Yeah, I think shouldn't is easier.
And it's current superstars, I believe. Is it current superstars? Let's just go with current superstars.
Current or past. I don't think it would matter.
Yeah. 3 that have and shouldn't have. I'm thinking. There's a lot of.
Shouldn't.
I'm gonna say.
I'm thinking maybe Jake the Snake Roberts or Roddy Piper.
Who haven't won it and should have, yeah.
Yeah, I think they would be 2 good shouts. I mean, they're not current, obviously, but I think they would be good two good shouts.
Scott Hall had never won a world title, as far as I know.
Or Razor Ramon is also another good one. The Great Khali. Who else? Trying to think.
It's interesting to think about this.
There's a debate. Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio was really good. There's a debate about some people think he should never have been given the title. So I'll throw it in. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Rey Mysterio was very good in his prime. I think I have friends who hated him. I have friends who loved him. I'll throw him in just because some people think he shouldn't have. I don't think it, but I'll throw him in. One last who did win a world title.
There's a lot of guys. There's quite a bit. Vince Russo in WCW.
Yeah.
David Arquette.
Oh yes! Oh my God! Although credit to him, he did say he didn't want to win the title. Yeah. He did refuse initially. Yeah, that's actually a good shout, David Arquette. It still shocks me that he was a world champion. It does still shock me. Does it? I mean, I wasn't old enough to watch it live. Were you? Did you see it happen?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, okay. So I think definitely Khali, Mysterio, and David Arquette and Razor Ramon, Roberts and Roddy Piper would be 6 to fill that question. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of my own other than those guys. I think Raymond deserved it, but I'm thinking I don't really. It's hard to pick, eh? I would have said Goldberg in his WWE title run.
I was just thought of one, JBL.
I like JBL as champion though, but I can see why people don't like JBL.
I don't mind. I didn't mind JBL. I thought it was okay. I don't like him now because he's I mentioned that earlier. The commentary team are awful, but JBL. I think when he was the champion, I think he did a good job. I think people hated him, and that's what he wanted. So I think he did all right.
Yeah. JBL. Yeah. King Booker, not because of Booker T, but because of the gimmick he was embracing, the King Booker gimmick.
Oh yeah.
I'd pick that.
That's possible. Yeah, definitely. And also, there's Bully Ray in TNA, but I don't think that counts as world title material.
Oh, I like Bully Ray as a TNA champion, just not with the aces and eights, obviously. I'm gonna think of some current guys that deserve the that should have deserved the title anyways. I think Barrett. I think Barrett needs to have won at least one right about now.
I mean, we all in 2010 when he broke out on his own. I think we all would have predicted that by now he would have won a few.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. I loved Eddie Guerrero. He's one of my favorites of all time. I think he did deserve the title. I was going to throw him as a suggestion to see what you thought. I think he deserved his title reign.
Oh, yeah.
Even amongst the circumstances that he won it. I mean, we all know why he won it. Because Lesnar was leaving. But yeah, Eddie Guerrero to me was really, really good and deserved it personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna search up some terrible champions while we're here, because I feel like we're missing some.
Yeah, we definitely are.
There's been a lot of bad characters over the years, like Gobbledygooker.
God, yeah. Corporate Kane.
Yeah. I guess you could count Vince McMahon because he was ECW champion.
Vince McMahon was the world champion, wasn't he? Yeah. I also remember he won a Royal Rumble, did he not?
Yeah. Yeah, he did, but then it was reversed.
I
guess you could say Swagger.
Swagger wasn't great. The Miz, would you count the Miz as a bad world champion?
Yeah, I'll count. Yeah, his championship reign. Sorry, should have been better, but
it wasn't. And also, I don't wish to incite anger on the entirety of the internet, but I don't think Dolph Ziggler was a very good world champion either.
Well, no. Well, the way they were pushing him, no. I think his world championship material is just that they booked him terribly.
Yeah, definitely. And then unfortunately, he was concussed, so he had the belt taken off of him. Oh, Del Rio. What did you Del Rio as a champion?
Meh, not much.
Yeah, I like Del Rio, but not with the title, I don't think. Yeah. I've just thought of one, Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
Came to mind.
Psycho Sid also came to my mind, too. Ezekiel Jackson, ECW champion.
Was he ECW champion?
He was ECW. He was the last ever ECW champion.
Goldberg in WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like Goldberg. I hope he doesn't return.
Yeah. Chavo Guerrero as ECW champion.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely the worst of all time would be the Great Khali.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Khali as world champion was just brutal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll wrap things up here. Any final thoughts before we head off?
Not really. Just want to say thank you for the invite on. I appreciate it. It would be nice to come on again if that's okay with you. But
yeah, absolutely.
So thanks for coming on, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And just want to say thank you for tuning into the Friday Night Talkdown show.
Thank you for the questions.
Yep, thank you for those questions as well. And if you want to tweet me some more questions for next week, you can tweet them to me at RozGibby with the hashtag AskGibby. And you could also find me on Facebook, as I said before, RozGibby. You could hard to miss. And also to check me out on YouTube, subscribe. Got some good stuff there. And
you can check out Alt Wrestling ALT Wrestling Mag on Facebook and at ALT Rest Mag on Twitter, as well as my Twitter as well. But yeah, that's all I have to say. And yeah, have a good night. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you all who listened in for tuning in.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to tune out now. So thank you again for tuning in, and have a good night, guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.